नमस्ते प्रणाम गीता ध्यानम् ओम पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम्। O Bhagavad Gita, with which Lord Narayana himself gave enlightenment to Arjuna, the ancient sage Vyasa included it in the Mahabharata. O Goddess, showerer of the nectar-like knowledge of non-dualism contained in your 18 chapters, O my affectionate mother, the destroyer of rebirth, I meditate upon thee. Krishna Vandana. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kansa Mardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Son of Vasudeva, the slayer of Kansa and Chanur, extreme delight for Mother Devaki, O Lord Krishna, the supreme teacher of the universe, my salutations to you. The Vibhuti Yoga 10th Adhyay of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, the yoga of divine manifestation, of the divine glories, of the real nature of the great universal Lord. That's what Sri Krishna is exposing to us in this chapter, the divine glories of the Lord. And Sri Krishna told us that how all these things have come into existence from me, how I am the origin. For all these various creatures that we see in this creation, various creatures with their different temperaments, with their different attitudes, with their different thinking processes and all that, they all, I am the source, Sri Krishna says. The universal Lord is the source of all this creation, and all these multitudinal variations that we see around us, they all come forth from that one divine being. And he also explained to us how he made it possible for all these creatures to come into existence through the Saptarshis, the great seven sages, and how the four Manus, they are moderating the lives of these creatures. They are moderating, they are administering the stature of these creatures, how they should behave, what they should do, what they should not do. Their code of conduct has been laid down by these four Manus at their respective time frames. And the creation is progressing accordingly. Now that is, yes, that is also the manifestation of the Lord. All these variations we see around us, different types of people, different types of animal, how they behave with each other, how they think about all these things. All these variations are nothing but the manifestations of that one single divinity. That is for sure. And then the last shloka that we read, Sri Krishna clearly told us that this whole thing comes from me. Aham sarvasya prabhavaha mattam mattaha sarvam pravartate. I am the source of all. I am the origin of all. All these things come forth from me. Iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvitaha. Those wise men who know this ultimate reality, they worship me with all their heart. Those wise men, those intelligent people, those knowers for that matter, those illumined souls, those who know this ultimate reality, that this entire creation has come forth from me. They who know that, who have realized that I am the source of all this variation you are seeing around. Variation you only see, variation you only perceive, variation you only feel. But in reality, all that variation you feel, you perceive, you see, it is nothing but me. Filled with me, it has come from me. So that is the beautiful concept of the divine glory that Sri Krishna is, he has told us in this 8th Shloka. Now in the 9th Shloka that we are going to read, further about such people, such wise men, Bodha, these Buddha, the wise men, the realized souls, how they behave in this creation. What is their mode of conduct? How do they behave in this society with each other? Do they live happily? Do they live lovingly? Do they live quarreling with each other? Now, how these wise people who have known the reality that God is the source of all creation, and the entire creation, all these diverse variations we see in this creation, the diversity that we see in this creation, it has come forth from that same singular divine being, the Lord. So Sri Krishna in this 9th Shloka is telling us, mach-chittā mad-gata-prāṇā bodhayantaḥ parasparam kathayantaśh mam nityaṁ tuṣhyanti cha ramanti cha. Now this is how these Buddha, these wise people, enlightened souls, the realized souls, they spend their time in this world that they have come to. Sri Krishna says, mach-chittā. Mach-chittā is the mind. Chitta is mind. Mach-chittā, the mind completely fixed upon me. And mad-gata-prāṇā, their life force is also dedicated to me, constantly thinking about me. They have dedicated their lives to me. mad-gata-prāṇā bodhayantaḥ parasparam. Parasparam. Now these wise men, these enlightened men, what they do, having fixed their minds in me, having dedicated their lives to me, bodhayantaḥ. Bodhayantaḥ is enlightening. They keep on enlightening parasparam, each other. They share their learnings. This is what I have found about the Lord. What have you found? I know Lord is there in me, the same Lord is there in you. What have you found? Have you also realized the same thing? Come, let us discuss. Bodhayanti parasparam. So these wise men, they don't waste their time in gossiping and talking rubbish and all those things. Rather, they bodhayantaḥ parasparam. They talk about these divine understandings they have received ultimately in their on their path of knowledge, that it is the Lord who is the source of all, and all this creation is the outcome from the Lord. So they naturally they discuss between themselves, such wise men, such enlightened souls. Bodhayantaḥ parasparam, having fixed their minds in me and having dedicated their lives to me. mach-chittā mad-gata-prāṇā kathayantaśh mam nityaṁ. They constantly, nityaṁ, constantly they talk about me. They sing my glories. They sing my divine glories. Kathayantaśh mam nityaṁ tuṣhyanti cha ramanti cha. They ever remain satisfied and they are delighted. Ever delighted, always. They ever remain satisfied. They are ever delighted in talking about the divine glories of the Lord Krishna. This is how the enlightened souls, they behave. There is no gossip. There is no rumor mongering. There is no that fellow is doing like this, that lady is doing like this. Nothing of that sort. They just talk about the sweetness of the Lord. They have fixed their mind on the Lord. They have dedicated their lives to the Lord, and having done so, their mind is constantly dwelling Their thoughts are constantly fixed on the Lord. So they talk about nothing but Lord. They exchange their ideas, they exchange their learnings, they exchange their impressions about what they think about the Lord. And they make merry, they are ever delighted, they ever satisfied in only talking about the Lord. So this is what Sri Krishna tells us in this 9th shloka. With their minds fixed on me, with their lives absorbed in me, with their life dedicated to me, enlightening each other and ever speaking of me, they are contented. Tuṣhyanti, cha ramanti cha, and are also equally delighted talking about me. So when it is like Sri Ramakrishna used to tell that anecdote, the hemp smoker, the charasiya, so called the drug addict, he's always on the lookout for another of his type. Why? Because the moment two drug addicts come together, they start there. Now that was the example was from a negative connotation, but this is what happens with the devotees. This is what happens with the enlightened souls. The moment an enlightened soul, when an enlightened soul is in the midst of worldly people, that person becomes extremely restless. He doesn't understand, she doesn't understand all kind of gossiping that is going around. Why these people are wasting their time in talking about all these useless things? Why can't they talk? Why can't they sing the glories of the divine? But the moment that devotee meets another devotee, that's it. There is no more remorse, there is no more frustration, there is no more dejection. The devotee meeting another devotee, they immediately start talking about nothing but the Lord, and that is where they always get the delight. They always get they are always contented talking about the Lord, because for the devotees there is nothing other than the Lord in their lives. They are 24/7 devoted to the Lord. The easiest of all acts for one is to fix one's mind on what one likes most. Naturally, I mean, whatever we like, it is a natural tendency that we can fix our mind most on that which we like most. Now for a devotee, which can be most liked than the Lord? So automatically the mind, devotee's mind, in everything devotee sees the Lord. So the devotee's mind is always fixed on the Lord. Like a child, small child, infant. For that infant, nothing in this world is more important than mother. That's it. There may be 10 different people surrounding the child, but the moment the child sees mother's face, that's it. The child is not bothered if there are 10 people in the room, 100 people in the room, or everybody, that child is the center of attraction. He is not bothered about it the moment it sees mother's face. Likewise, a devotee, the moment gets tuned with the Lord, that's all the devotee seeks. Devotee seeks communion with no one else than the Lord. The bhakta devotes that life to the Lord, but that devotion, that dedicating the life to the Lord of a bhakta. Now, lovers also, the human lovers for that matter, a boy and a girl, when they start loving, what happens? They are so much attracted towards each other, but that attraction is on account of possessiveness. If there is another boy who starts eyeing the girl, this boy will get jealous. If there is another girl who starts looking for this boy, this girl becomes jealous. But that doesn't happen with the devotees. That is the beauty of the devotional love. The moment a devotee finds that, oh, that another person is also loving my Lord, that another devotee is also loving my mother, their bonding becomes so close. And that is what Sri Krishna tells here, that they keep on parasparam bodhayantaḥ. They keep discussing about the devotional aspects, about this aspect of love, divine love. They start discussing between themselves. And these two devotees, these two lovers of the same Lord, they get contented in doing it. Tuṣhyanti cha ramanti cha, and they get extreme delight. There is no jealousy. There is no hatred. There is no kind of a ill feeling. Oh, that person is also loving my God. How can that be? It never happens. In the arena of devotion, in the field of devotion, that never happens. That jealousy, hatred, anger, ill feeling, it never crops up. Because Lord is everyone's. The temperamental differences are set aside in this holy act. And now we know why Sri Krishna spoke about all those 20 qualities and all those thousands of millions of multitudinal creatures with all those different temperaments. They come, they have different temperaments, fine. But the moment all those various multitudinal temperaments, all those diverse temperaments start getting focused on the same divine eternity, all those differences, all those variations, all those multitudinal differences, they all vanish. And then there only springs love for our own. The mention of the Lord made to him by others is delightful. Then he doesn't think, oh, how can this fellow keep on praising? How can this fellow keep on singing the glories of my Lord? All those temperamental differences, all those diversities, they melt away. Diversities on account of so many bodies, first of all, created, so many bodies with all those 20 different types of attributes, qualities, the attitudes. All these discrepancies, they just melt away. Repeated recount of his glories does not render them stale or repugnant. In case of materialistic topics, if someone keeps on repeating the same topic 100 times, we get bored, isn't it? When we listen to all those political talks and going on and on, blabbering, we get fed up. Enough, Baba. Now I stop talking about it. But when the devotees start talking about the glories of the divine, these are never ever boring. We never get fed up listening to the glories of the divine. To a devotee, n number of times the same thing may be repeated. We who have read the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, we see Sri Ramakrishna telling so many anecdotes repeatedly, one after the other. But the way Sri Ramakrishna talks about those instances, gives those examples, they may be repetitive for us, but we never get bored. We never get enough of it. We never say it. Mahabharata, when we read, there are so many stories which keep on repeating. Ramayana, the characters. But all those repetitions, we never get bored. That is the beauty of this devotional discussion. This bodhayantaḥ parasparam, what Sri Krishna has told. These devotional discussions between the devotees, they never lead us to boredom. They never lead us to, come on, enough of it. Never ever. N number of times we keep on listening to the glories of the Lord in the Bhagavad-purāṇa. Do we ever get bored? Never ever. So repeated recount of his glories does not render them stale or repugnant. Rather, they become increasingly absorbing. And that's why the great sadhus and sadhvis of the Ramakrishna order, the senior monks and nuns, they keep on telling us that you keep on reading Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. Every time we read, we might have read 10 times, 100 times, but every time we open the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, we always find something new, understanding, some new understanding. We might have read that passage 100 times, but every time we get a new light. A new light is shed upon it. That particular anecdote which Sri Ramakrishna has repeatedly told, we suddenly get a new meaning out of it. And that is the beauty of these devotional discussions. They are so enlightening. They are so enlightening. They are ramanti. These people, they keep on discussing it for hours together and they don't get bored. They get such a great delight in it. They get such a great contentment. Tuṣhyanti ramanti. In that bodhayantaḥ parasparam. So that is this beautiful shloka of the Holy Communion that Sri Krishna has clearly told us in this 9th shloka. And on this particular thing, okay, let me share Sri Ramakrishna's teaching once again. That no picture can be painted on a fresh glass. A fresh glass from the factory maybe. We can't immediately start drawing painting picture on that. But if it is coated with the required chemicals, painting on it then becomes possible and effective. Such a beautiful example Sri Ramakrishna is giving. The brand new glass you buy and start painting, you won't be able to paint. But you have to make some kind of a chemical on that glass. You have to get that glass ready to receive the paint that you are going to paint with. And painting on it then becomes possible and effective. Similarly, if man's heart were coated with the chemicals of devotion, the imprinting of the august presence of Ishvara on it becomes easy. The moment you put that chemical on glass, you can then just dry it, let that glass be ready for getting painted. You can start painting beautifully. And Sri Ramakrishna says in the same way, first get your heart treated with that chemical of devotion. Prepare your heart with devotion. Make it ready with devotion. And the moment you make it ready with devotion, like the piece of glass, which is now ready to acquire the paint on it, which is now ready to start painting on it. Like that, make your heart ready to receive the Lord. And once the heart is made ready with the devotion, then you start drawing the beautiful picture of the Lord, the beautiful picture of the Mother on your heart, and they will get permanently etched on the glass of this heart. So that was a very apt example quoted by Sri Ramakrishna in the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna that was given here while commenting on this 9th shloka of the Vibhuti Yoga of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, the 10th adhyaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Sri Krishna Arpanamastu. Jai Sri Ramakrishna. Jai Thakur. Jai Ma. Jai Swami.